We okay to get started? Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. So nice to have you here today. Appreciate you taking the time to join us either online or in person. So we always have a career panel and made up of alum to share some stories about what they're doing. So we're going to get started with our show and tell and some advice. So if you're online or if you're in person, feel free to ask questions of the panelists as they're up. We have enough time for that, so that will be fine. And our first speaker today is Crystal Jolly, who is Assistant Director at Detroit Public Library. Just as manager, pardon me, I gave you a promotion. So you want to come up? Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your promotion.
Okay. All right. Oh, let me grab it. So hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Jolly, as Ms. Kim Schroeder said, and I am an assistant manager and children's librarian at Parkman Branch of the Detroit Public Library. And what I do is I help manage the daily operations of the library of about 16 staff, and we have a service area of about 30,000 patrons. And I'm also a Great Start collaborative Wayne consultant. And so what I do is take programs that are offered in Wayne County, the data, and I put it into a family online calendar so that families in Wayne County can have easy access to programs in Wayne County that are free or of low cost to them. And so I did graduate from Wayne State School of Library Information Sciences. That's what it was called at the time in 2012. And I have had a journey into urban public librarianship that I think is worth sharing with you. And what I hope that you gain from my moment of talking is that you decide to consider urban public librarianship, so working in an urban public library. And if not that, at the least, just see the value in this kind of work, okay? Just make sure, did it change? Okay. Good. So before I talk about my journey, I think it's important for people to understand what am I talking about when I'm saying urban public libraries. So this is from my experience working in an urban public library and also the conversations that I've had with other librarians across the country, so like in Chicago and Philadelphia. And so there are also some common features. So one thing is serving a diverse community, and that means understanding diversity, and not just racial or ethnic, but it's also cultural, it's linguistic, and serving people from with different abilities. So as a urban public library, we always have to think about having the dexterity to deal with the complexities of serving a diverse population. I'm sorry if you can't really see it, it's dark. So if you need me to say something over, I can do that for you, and feel free to share your questions with me at the end, okay? So thirdly, there is this idea of striving for equity. Hopefully you can see the picture, so maybe I'll talk about that because it's probably what you can see. And so when we talk about striving for equity, it's this idea of meeting people where they are, understanding who they are, and providing what it is they need to be successful. And so what I want to show you right now is this video about our Watch and Learn program at Parkman that was established in 2017. And essentially what we did is we created a pop-up space in a laundromat only about a half a mile away from the library. But it means a lot to those people, to our people in the community, because it takes a lot of time to arrange to go to a library when you have to wash your clothes, you have to make sure your children are dropped off at school. There's a lack of transportation, and so even though it's a half a mile away, it means a lot for families that they can easily find out what the library is doing, read stories to their children, and just do it while they're waiting for their clothes to wash or dry. So I just need assistance with.
My name is Stacy Lauren, and I'm the program coordinator of the Watch and Learn program in Detroit. The Watch and Learn program creates pop-up learning spaces and laundromats, providing patrons and community members access to educational material and programs. Since the launch of this program, I've seen relationships grow among community members, small businesses, local nonprofits, and national organizations. In fact, the laundromat owners themselves have become our strongest allies, and they take immense pride in these spaces.
My name is Omar Lorenzen. I'm the owner of Coinless Laundry. Our laundromat actually is located in the Detroit, city of Detroit. Poverty levels are very, very high within the city. And so having this here, I think is awesome because the parents can bring their kids. The kids can engage with people who could help them, with educational games and things that'll help them grow and learn, etc. It was in conjunction with our neighborhood library, which we thought was pretty cool. And anything that's an opportunity to kind of give kids access to information, technology, just any type of positive encouragement, I think is a plus.
My name is Crystal Jolly. I'm a children's librarian at Parkman Branch. This program is wonderful because it's an opportunity to mingle with the families, mingle with the children, and find out what their interests are and promote the programs that we have at the library. What's so interesting about this program is that, the laundromat is right down the street from Parkman, and so even though people are close to the library, they might have busy lives, and so this gives us an opportunity to meet the families where they are and for them to, again, get a chance to mingle and get to know us. So it has been an amazing experience, and we look forward to continuing this in some shape, form, or fashion.
I'm Justin Johannan, the manager of Fit and Fold Laundromat, and Libraries Without Borders has been here for about 2.5 months, and they set up computers in our laundromat. This neighborhood is one of the poorest zip codes in all of Michigan. We live next to 2 big, huge apartment buildings, and I'll say no one has the internet in there. So Libraries Without Borders set up some computers and different programs on the computers so kids could get internet, help them with school, reading, build up their reading skills. 80% of the neighborhood drops out by 10th grade. So just to start getting kids while they're younger and just really focus on their education and just everything to help them grow strong. Libraries Without Borders has definitely helped.
And what I think Wash and Learn does, as well as organizations like Central Detroit, and the reason we chose to come here is Brilliant Detroit, is there is hope because the people here are beautiful. They want what's best for their kids, but they need it in the neighborhood in a way that's easy for them to get to and access, and that's what this does.
Hi, my name is Renee Solomon. I have been a resident in this neighborhood for over 40 years. We have a lot of young parents with children that need the kind of help that these agencies are bringing to the neighborhood. I volunteered, I cooked and read to the children, and I know that a lot of these young parents and families with children need this.
My name is Leola Stafford, and I live in this community. I brought my daughter Gracie here, so she loved doing the arts and craft, and they back there painting dinosaurs.
I'm Madison Paisner, and I'm an intern for the Wash and Learn program for Libraries Without Borders. I'm someone who's always loved reading and put a lot of value in having access to books, so I think that this idea of taking idle time at a laundromat and giving kids something to do, it's been really successful.
One day, I asked a man standing outside with Fit and Fold Laundromat where all the kids hang out around here. He looked at me and said, without skipping a beat, the laundromat.
Hi, I'm Brian Wallace. I serve as president and CEO of Coin Laundry Association. The ability of Wash and Learn to make educational, literacy, entertainment, and other much needed resources available for those families visiting our laundromats every week is a potent combination. We've got a great opportunity with Wash and Learn and hopefully other programs much like it to bridge that gap and use laundromats as a way of connecting communities with the resources that they need the most.
Okay, so what I want to emphasize about this
You
video,
write for many reasons. Grammarly provides suggestions based.
no problem. So what I wanted to emphasize about that video is, again, striving for equity. So meeting families where they are and providing that extra layer of support so that they can have transformational experiences. So that's another common feature of serving in an urban public library. The last feature that I want to talk about is that I found that's common is this idea that urban public libraries meet city goals. So for example, Mayor Duggan recently gave the city a state of the city address, and he talked about two things. Detroit has the highest unemployment rate as a city in the country, and it also has the highest poverty rate for a city in the country. So when we do programs at the library, at the forefront of our mind, we're thinking about, okay, how can we support city goals? How can we reduce those two things? So we provide workforce development options. We have like this huge binder with hundreds of job opportunities and workforce opportunities for families. Even with something like a teen advisory board, when I have teens when they do programs, I'm always thinking about, are they developing skills to be able to talk in front of people confidently, be able to solve problems and work in groups, and that's what I'm thinking about, is them getting skills that they can use when they join the workforce or become college students. So the next thing I want to talk about is my journey into urban public librarianship. And so what I want to emphasize is that my journey did not happen overnight when I graduated from Wayne State School of Library Information Science. I knew I wanted to work for the Detroit Public Library, but I needed experience and I needed to gain my knowledge and confidence as a librarian. So I took every opportunity that I could working, and it was a progressive journey. So I was fortunate enough to work as an intern for Plymouth District Library, and then I moved up to substitute librarian, and then I became a part-time children's librarian, and then full-time. So it just progressed. So if you don't feel that things are going wrong, if you don't get the position that you want off immediately, just strive and work for that. Stay focused on your goal, and it will happen. And so then I eventually became a librarian at the Detroit Public Library and was promoted to assistant manager. And then recently, I also became a consultant for Great Start Wayne. And what I want you to take away from this slide as well is that working as an urban public librarian is not just being inside of these, four walls, like brick and mortar. It's this idea that you are really striving for equity in any kind of way. So for me as a consultant, I do my work at home sometimes. I could be at a staff meeting, I'm doing just all these different things that I'm doing, but it's still, I would consider it as work, urban librarianship, public urban librarianship work. So keep that in mind, that your opportunities are limitless. Okay. So now I want to talk about the challenges. And I consider these challenges to be things that keep me up at night. I'll be honest. One thing that is limited is resources. Because I am the assistant manager and children's librarian, I'm wearing several hats all the time. So I have limited time, and I've noticed that before, when I was just a children's librarian, I had more time to just sit with families and mingle with them and talk with them. But because I'm also managing, I don't have as much time. So I have to be very intentional about the interaction that I have with families. Of course, I want to show them that I care, but I also want to let them know that we have all these great programs and to continue to come back. So it's about being strategic and then prioritizing. A second challenge is removing barriers for families. So I won't talk much about it now, because I do believe that those pictures that I will show you later shows programs where we are trying to remove those barriers. But it's a never-ending, it's something that's always at the forefront of my mind too, is like, how can we remove barriers such as transportation? And so you'll see that in future slides of programs that we've done. And then lastly, that's the challenge for me, is measuring impact. And I think this goes in hand with having limited time. Because I don't have a lot of time, I know I need to work better with finding quantitative measurements, right, with the impact that we have in the community. So for example, if we have a computer class and it's a group of people and they complete this 6-week course, has this course really helped them? Which skills did they develop? Has it led to them getting a job in the city? And so those are the kinds of things that I want to be able to communicate to our community as far as our impact. So I'm working on that one. Okay, so I'm sorry, we are, right slide? Okay, so challenges. All right, so you know what I want to do is go back to why urban public librarianship is important for me. In fact, I'll just speak about it, no need to go back. So I chose urban public librarianship because I felt it was a way for me to give back to my city. I am a native Detroiter, born and raised in Detroit, and so it's really dear to my heart that I'm able to live, work, and play in Detroit, and give back to my community. And then secondly, I want to be a positive example for the youth in my community. I want them to see a librarian who looks like them, to understand that no matter which challenges or adversities you have, you can be a librarian. The sky is the limit. So that is why I chose this field. Okay, so hopefully we're on rewards, right? Okay, good. So let's get to the rewards. This job is very rewarding. The most rewarding aspect of what I do is building relationships with families, community partners, and just seeing the professional and personal growth that take place over time. So you should see a picture of a young gentleman helping a little boy at a computer. So when I met him, when I first started working at the Detroit Public Library, he was very shy. He wouldn't talk to me much. He would mingle with his friends, and then he would leave the library. That was his day. But as we developed a rapport with each other, I invited him to join the Teen Advisory Board. And then what that led to about a year later is him leading our online game tournament, so helping our little children to create accounts and play games. And so, of course, this is something that you just can't measure, but when you see it, it just makes you, it warms your heart to see the growth that patrons and community members have. So here are just some, some library programs that we have. We offer many, so what I want to highlight at the bottom is you'll see some young ladies in ballet attire. In 2017, we had a summer ballet and reading program, and it was done in partnership with Abigail School of Dance, Metro Detroit Book Author Society. And what we did is remove barriers for youth in Detroit to have access to the arts. We provided instruction, so they learned classical ballet. We provided the attire, we provided the books. So all they had to do was show up and get a good quality experience of learning ballet. And so these are the kind of things that we do to remove those barriers and enrich children's lives with the programs that we offer. The next slide is just more programs that we offer, and I just want to highlight the family field trips. So a barrier for a lot of families in Detroit is transportation. And me personally, I know taking the bus that our transportation system could be a lot better. It could be improved. And so for a family, think about taking them to Belle Isle, for example. You have 3 children, you have limited funds, you have limited time. Trying to get to Belle Isle, for example, to this wonderful park, it just takes too much energy. It's too many barriers. So what we do is we have family field trips every year. We've partnered with Michigan State University. They provide a bus. They pick us up from Parkman. They take us to the Belle Isle for their Michigan Science Expo, and then they bring us back. And you will see a picture of a father with his son, and they're looking out into the Detroit River. And so that's what we do. These are the kind of moments that we create with the programs that we offer, where a father and his son can look out into the river and then also have a great learning experience without worrying about barriers. And then last but not least is a slide, because I'm almost done. It's just a phrase that I want to leave with you, is that urban public libraries they provide the extra layer of support so that those who are most in need have experience. They have transformational experiences that they wouldn't have otherwise. And then I want to just talk a little bit about these different boxes you see. So this is called Transform Libraries. It's an initiative with the American Library Association. And the very top box, it talks about libraries transform how and why. Is because students who read throughout the summer, in the fall, they are more likely to end up on the honor roll. And that's great. But what about the child that has had negative experiences with reading? They've been struggling with reading, they don't have the support. At our library, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work toward that goal. We're gonna provide you with intensive summer reading support in the summer. We've hired teachers to come in, and for 2 hours a week, 6 days a week throughout the summer, Monday through Thursday, they work with the certified teacher who specializes in reading recovery. So now this child is building positive relationships with reading. They are being successful at reading, and then we're giving them prizes for reading too. I mean, we're just really supporting them. And so the goal is that they will be able to be that student who is on the honor roll if they aren't already. But we're providing those extra layers of support. So hopefully that after you've heard my presentation today, you'll see that urban public librarianship is something that you should consider, and if not, just understand the value. So thank you, Wayne State School of Information Sciences, for having me, and thank you all for listening. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you again, Crystal. Now we have Sean McCann. Oh,